part of a chapter second bipolar junction transistor, that is BJT. And in this video we are going to learn about the concept of transistor biasing. So what is this biasing? So biasing is a process of applying external DC voltage to a transistor in order to operate it in the desired region of its operation. And we know that the transistor can be operated in any of the three regions of the operations, namely cutoff region, active region, and a saturation region. So the basic function of transistor is amplification, and the process of raising the strength of a weak signal without any change in its general or original shape is referred as a faithful amplification. So for this faithful amplification, it is essential that the emitter base junction is forward biased, that is the input junction, and the collector base junction must be reverse biased. So this biasing circuit is nothing but the application of DC voltage to establish a fixed level of current and a voltage at the input. So here, through proper biasing, a desired quiescent operating point of the transistor amplified in the active region or the linear region of the characteristics is obtained. And the stability of this quiescent point is very important because the quality of the amplification depends on the stability of this quiescent point. So it is desired that once selected, the operating point should remain stable, and the maintenance of this stable operating point is called as the stabilization. And the selection of a proper quiescent point generally depends on the following factor, that is the amplitude of the input to be handled by the amplifier and distortion level in the signal, and the load to which the amplifier is to work for a corresponding supply voltage. So this operating point of a transistor amplifier shifts mainly with the changes in a temperature. Since the transistor parameters are nothing but the beta ICO is nothing but the leakage current, and the input voltage VBE. And these parameters, they are the functions of a temperature. If there is a change in a temperature, the values of these parameters may change, and this will affect the stability of the Q point. So the stability of the Q point is very important. So what is this DC operating point or a quiescent point? For a transistor circuit, to amplify it must be properly biased with the DC voltages. And the DC operating point between the saturation and cutoff region is called the quiescent point, that is a Q point. So here is this circuit that is used for the amplification purpose. So here this base emitter junction is a forward biased, and this collector emitter junction is a reverse biased. Now, the goal is to set this Q point such that it does not go into saturation or cutoff when a DC signal is applied. This input signal is applied. So this is the output characteristics of the amplifier, and here we know that the three regions. So this is the shaded portion. This is called as a saturation region. The second shaded portion where the input current IB is 0. This is called as a cutoff region, and the region between these two regions, this is called the active region. So when we have to use this transistor as an amplifier, we have to use or operate this transistor in the active region. So here these are the points or the places of this quiescent point. So for a proper amplification or for a faithful amplification, the place of this quiescent point, it must be at the center of the active region, and it must be stable at to that position. So there are various biasing circuits are used to fix this operating point or the position of this operating point. The base resistor method or a fixed bias circuit. Second method is a fixed bias with an emitter resistor. Third one is the collector to base bias circuit is used, and the last one is the potential divider bias circuit. So among these four, the potential divider bias circuit is the most popular circuit that is used for the biasing, and it is and it gives the most stabilization to the quiescent point. So here this figure, which is the most widely used C configuration transistor, here shown in the figure. So here this base of this transistor is connected to the potential divider circuit. So this R1 and R2, this forms the potential divider bias, and here this fixed voltage is applied to the base. So in this method, two resistors R1 and R2 are connected across VCC, which provide the biasing to the base of the transistor, and here the emitter resistor RE provides the stabilization. And these resistors R1 and R2 acts as a potential divider, giving a fixed voltage to the point B, which is a base. And the voltage drop across this R2 forward biases the base emitter junction, that is the required point for the amplification of the signal. So this causes the base current and hence collector current to flow in the zero signal condition. Now, the potential divider bias circuit, or the analysis of this potential divider bias circuit. So let us consider the circuit for this analysis of this potential divider bias circuit. For analysis, we have to consider two loops. First is the input loop, that is base loop, and second one is the output loop, that is called as a collector loop. So first we have to calculate the input voltage, that is VB, using the potential divider rule or the theorem. So here, after application of this voltage divider theorem, we get VB equal to the voltage drop across this resistor R2 divided by the sum of voltage drop across resistor R1 and R2. And voltage drop across this resistor R2 is nothing but the, according to Ohm's law, is equal to V is equal to IR. So here R2 and the current flowing through this resistor is I. So here we get the voltage drop across R2 is R2 into I. Similarly for R1 and R2, it is voltage drop across this R1 is R1 into I plus IB plus R2 into I into the VCC, or the input voltage applied to this circuit, that is VCC. So after rearranging this equation, we get VB equal to R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC. So using this equation, we can calculate the input voltage VB. Now the second loop. Now consider the analysis of second loop, that is VCE loop or a collector loop. So here we have just considered the output circuitry. So here we have to calculate the voltage across the resistor RE, that is VE, and it can be calculated as VE is equal to IE RE, that is using the Ohm's law. The current flowing through the resistor, that is IE, so it is IE into RE. And similarly, we can also calculate the or represent this VE equal to difference between these two voltages, that is VB minus VBE. So in this way, we can also calculate the VE. So after rearranging this or equating these two equations, we get IE RE equal to VB minus VBE. So we can calculate IE from this equation, that is VB minus VBE upon RE. So now if we have to calculate the output voltage VCE, for that we have to apply the Kirchhoff's law or the KVL to the collector loop. So what is Kirchhoff's voltage law or a KVL? So it is the law where it states that the potential difference or the potential rise, the sum of potential rise and potential drop around a closed loop is equal to 0. So here this is the closed loop from VCC to this ICRC, VCE and this IE, RE. This is a closed loop, and after application of this KVL, we can say that this is VCC. Here the potential rises there, and across this resistor, transistor and this resistor RE, there is a voltage drop. So we can write VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IERE equal to 0. So this is the potential difference or the algebraic sum of the potential rise and potential drop across or around a closed loop is equal to 0. So after rearranging this equation, we can calculate VCE equal to VCC minus ICRC minus IERE. So in this way, we can calculate the input voltage VB as well as the output voltage VCE, and also we can calculate the output current IC. So let's see the example. So here is the figure is given where potential divider bias is used for the biasing of this amplifier. So here beta is given, that is 100 for the silicon transistor. As this transistor is a silicon, its VBE, the base emitter voltage drop, is 0.7 volt. So we have to calculate the VCE and IC for this circuit. Again, to calculate VCE and IC, we require the input voltage, that is VB. So let's calculate the input voltage VB using the formula R2 upon R1 plus R2 into VCC. So here the values of R1 and R2 are given and VCC is given 10 volts. So put the values. So here we get VB equal to 3.33 volt. Now we have to calculate the output voltage. So for that VE is given, that is VB minus VB, and we know that the VB just we have calculated that that is 3.33 volt, and VB is nothing but the 0.7 volt, as this transistor is a silicon transistor. So we can calculate the VE equal to 2.63 volt. So for silicon transistor VB is 0.7 volt and VE is 2.63 volt. Now we have to calculate the IE, current flowing through the resistor, RE. So we can calculate IE equal to VE upon RE. So we get here VE equal to 2.63 volt and RE is nothing but the 500 ohm. So we get IE equal to 5.26 milliampere. Now using this IE we can calculate the current IB, input current, that is IE upon 1 plus beta. So here we have calculated IE, we know the value of beta, that is 100. So we can calculate the input current IB, that is 52.08 into 10 raised to minus 6 ampere, or we can say that it is a 52.08 microampere. IB is very small and it is always in the microampere. Now we have to calculate the current IC. So here IC is equal to beta IB. So we can calculate IC. So we get 5.208 milliampere. So here we get the input voltage VB, that is we have used to calculate the current IE. Then we have calculated IB, and using this IE and IB we can calculate the output current IC. Now we have to calculate the output voltage VCE. So consider the same figure and consider the collector loop. So we have to apply the KVL to this collector loop. So we get IC VCC minus ICRC minus VCE minus IE RE. After rearranging this equation we get VCE equal to VCC minus ICRC minus IE RE, and put the values of this VCC, IC, RC, IE and RE. We get VCC equal to 2.162 volt. So in this way we can calculate the input voltage, then we can calculate the current IE, IB and IC, and then we can calculate the output voltage, that is VCE, using this potential divider bias circuit. So these are the questions based on this topic. Try to solve the questions. If you have any queries, you can contact me. Thank you.